Good morning.
Good morning.
Is that too loud or?
No, that's good.
I feel like it's whoa. Okay. Well, welcome to San Gabriel Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. And whether you are here in our sanctuary or watching at home, we are so glad that you're here. My name is Vivian Stidvan, and my pronouns are she and her. I have lived here in Georgetown, in Sun City actually, for almost 13 years and am a retiree. I think that's the word. I have actually retired 2 times. First time was in 1974. I was teaching German and math on the secondary school level, the high school level. I taught there for almost 5 years and retired from teaching 2/3 of the way through the year when our first of 2 sons was born. And then I retired for the second time in 2009. I retired from working at our local mental health, mental retardation center as a licensed professional counselor. And so I am now remaining retired and enjoy it. San Gabriel is a member congregation of the Unitarian Universalist Association. There are over 1,000 UU congregations in the United States. All of us are working together for a just, peaceful, and sustainable world. Sustaining each other here in our community is the first step down that long road of that very important work. If you would like to know more about us and learn about upcoming events, please go to our website and sign up for our newsletter. Or in fact, you could just drop by the welcome table and get information about how to do that. We especially are welcoming our new visitors here this morning. And for our members, if you meet someone, you think, well, they may be new or they may be visiting, be sure and give them a special welcome so that they'll feel a part of our congregation this morning. And for our visitors, please know that whoever you are, wherever you are from, whomever you love, and wherever you are on life's journey, you are welcome here.
Hi, I'm Reverend Jami Yandle, and my pronouns are they and them. And this morning I want to take a moment of silence for the shootings in North Texas. Honestly, I'm out of words, so just a moment of silence for that. As terrible things happen, remember that we have one another, and that's all we have. So that's what makes community so important. I have some announcements this morning. Molly Hornbuckle, can you please come up?
Good morning. I'm Molly Hornbuckle. I am the president of the board for the next 7 weeks. And 2 meetings, and and as we sort of wind down this particular church year, we start again in July, we want to take an opportunity to celebrate volunteers. The last Sunday in May, our regular meeting time will be that volunteer brunch. Nobody has to do anything. Nobody has to Well, I take that back. A few people are going to have to do some things, but for the most part, you just come and enjoy and celebrate the way that we have pulled together, grown together, and to recognize those who have been a part of the maintaining this wonderful, beloved community. The only thing you do have to do is either sign the page at the back that is an RSVP, or you'll notice on the messenger there's a little clicky link thing that you can go to and let us know how many are coming, so we'll know how many breakfast tacos to order. Thanks.
Karina has been busy at the Capitol and has some news about that.
I hope you all were able to receive this past week's messenger newsletter and saw my little article that I wrote with just some reflections about my experiences at the Capitol. I've been there 3 times, and it's not difficult for me to go because I live in Austin and I can actually ride my bike to the Capitol. So it is the least I can do to be in solidarity with people who are fighting for their lives, who are fighting for their rights. And so I encourage you to go look at that article to see the different ways we are working together with people who are just trying to lead the lives that they want to live in peace and without being harassed and made invisible. I will say that our Texas UU Justice Ministry is doing an amazing job in this coalition, and for all of us as Unitarian Universalists, I want you to think about what it means when our partner organization, like Equality Texas, like Human Rights Campaign, like ACLU, when that leadership, the leadership of those organizations uses the words of our Reverend Aaron Walter, who's the director of TexUJM, and repeats those back as words of comfort, that we are the faith, we are the people that they are looking to for partnership in that moment and for comfort in that moment. And that speaks volumes to who we are as a faith and as a community. So know that we are in the right place in this fight. Thanks.
We are busy people. The rest of the announcements are here. Please take a look at it. And now for a chalice lighting by Jennifer McLaughlin. As the first hint of green begins to peek through the barren ground, as the little sprig grows into a healthy stem, as the stem grows into a stalk and forms a bud, as the bud slowly opens with each new day to form a yellow daffodil. Let us be like that first hint of green, renewed by the warmth of the sun's rays, and ready to emerge with a new energy to face the day. We light this chalice to bring a glimmer of that warmth into our space. Our opening hymn is number 29, Joyful, Joyful, We Adore Thee. Please rise and body your spirit. Lyrics will be projected.
Our son, like flashes.
So it's our 100-year anniversary of flower ceremony, and Reverend Erica Hewitt actually had a series of dialogue that she taped with Reverend Peter, who works inside of Norbert Chopek's church. So it's a little different this morning because we're going to be watching those videos. And then she released them to the entire UUA to use for flower ceremony. So a whole bunch of other folks are, whenever their flower ceremony is, are also watching these videos as an idea of gathering us. And the whole concept is the diversity of flowers coming together, the diversity of congregations coming together. So this morning, our call to worship is Reverend Peter's meditation video.
These are the words I offered as a meditation over the flowers before their distribution. Ve jménu toho, co je svaté, ve jménu toho, co je dobré, ve jménu toho, co dává život, sešli jsme se tady dnes v tomto místě. Byl nám dán život, abychom žili v povědomí věčnosti, neboť to je zdroj štěstí. Abychom pracovali na sobě a vnášeli do svého života štěstí. Abychom byli co platní druhým, se kterými jsme provázáni neviditelnými vztahy. Vy květiny, připomínáte nám tu úžasnou jednoduchost přírodního řádu a to, že i my jsme jeho součástí. Připomínáte nám krásu a harmonii rozmanitosti. Připomínáte nám, že lze cítit a vnímat a žít jednotu v různosti a různost v jednotě. Nechť jeden duch tvůrčího života nás spojí, tak, jako mezi námi vládne. In the name of what is holy, in the name of what is good, in the name of that which gives life, we have gathered here in this place today. We have been given life to live under the aspect of eternity, for that is the source of happiness. To work on ourselves and bring happiness into our lives, to be as valid as possible to others with whom we are connected by invisible relationships. You, the flowers, remind us of the wonderful simplicity of the natural order, and that we too are a part of it. You remind us of the beauty and harmony of diversity. You remind us that one can feel and perceive and live unity in diversity and diversity in unity. Let the spirit of creative life unite us as it reigns among us.
Our affirmation is an expression of our covenant with one another. Please read after me, and the words will be projected. The doctrine of this church is love. We are here to love. The quest of truth is its sacrament. We are here to learn. Service is its prayer. We are here to care for others. To dwell together in peace. We are here to live in peace. To seek knowledge in freedom. We are here to honor our differences. To serve humanity in fellowship. We are all connected in spirit. To the end that all souls shall grow in harmony with the divine. We are here to grow. Thus do we covenant with one another. This we promise to do together. Okay.
Good morning. I have a wonder box with me. Is anybody, as Unitarian Universalists, we celebrate curiosity and we encourage each other to growth. And we do that sometimes by sharing what our guesses might be, what we're thinking about. Does anybody have any guesses? It's not making a lot of noise. What was that? A dog biscuit. Indictments. What else could be in here? It's definitely a wish list. Anything else? What do you think might be in here? Seeds? Flowers? Do you want to come try and open it up? You want to see what's inside? All right. We do have some flowers. And I would love it if folks in the back could bring all the beautiful flowers that people have brought with them today. We're going to bring those forward. Today we celebrate a uniquely UU ritual, the flower ceremony. This ritual was created by Reverend Norbert Čapek, who founded the Unitarian Church in Czechoslovakia in the 1920s. Many of you brought a flower with you today, and we have gathered them together into this beautiful bouquet. These flowers, each unique, each different, symbolize how each of us, with all of our differences, each with a different contribution to make, come together in community. And as we gaze upon these flowers, may we be blessed by their beauty. May they remind us of the diversity of life, of the diversities of knowledge and gifts we all bring. And in their unity, gathered here, may they show us that all of us are needed to do the work of peace and justice in this world. So we're going to pass these back out. We have a couple of baskets here, and I could use some volunteers to split them into these two baskets. And even if you did not bring a flower with you today, we urge you to take one home with you. Select one that speaks to you. Take it in good care, knowing that someone else brought it especially for you. By exchanging flowers, we show our willingness to be together in community. Many thanks to Joe and Jackie, who are now going to play Color and Fragrance, written by Reverend Čapek himself. All right, we're going to start passing these out. right, it is lovely to see a flower in just about everyone's hands at this point. You know, the empty vases in the front are making me a little sad, so I think we'll take these away, but thank you so much for taking a flower, and I hope it brings you joy today and into the future, and that to remember that there, like we have out on our sign today, there is joy in diversity.
It's the diversity that brought us the flower ceremony. Chapek realized that his people and his congregation would not settle for just communion with bread and wine because it didn't fit the theological backgrounds of his congregation. So he created the flower ceremony as a form of communion that fit the theology of the people in his congregation. So we're going to hear more about that from Reverend Peter in dialogue with Reverend Erica about what the spirit of the flower ceremony is and a little bit of the history from the Czech Republic itself.
I'd like to talk about timing. You said that usually you try to hold, or the Prague congregation would have its flower celebration on the first Sunday in June. Mm-hmm. And my understanding is that's when Chapek did it. Mm-hmm. And understanding that that might be when flowers are in bloom, I've always thought of it as something that happens, or was meant to happen in June. In the United States, it gets moved around a lot, partly because flowers might be available in March in one part of the country, partly because some people use it to celebrate Easter, some people do it on Mother's Day. We've already talked about your understanding of maintaining and honoring the spirit of Reverend Chapek's ritual. How do you feel about the different timing of it?
I wouldn't mind doing it different times of a year. And like I said before, our style is always different. Mm-hmm. I just would emphasize, or I would be careful about connecting it with something else, because then it becomes something else. And for me, the focus should be really on that spiritual dimension of the emphasis on bringing and taking the flowers, that thing, that acceptance thing. If we choose another topic like Mother's Day or something else, or when what I saw often in this country, when the flower communion is basically a memorial service of Chapek, that's really not what it should be, I think. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Because then it's not about Chapek, it's about the flowers and us. Yeah. Not about Chapek. Yeah. Chapek happened to have the idea, but it's like if every time I eat bread, I would venerate somebody who developed the bread. Like, I venerate the bread and not the author of the bread. Right. Even the baker, I don't care about the baker. Well, I'm thankful to the baker, but the bread is the point. Yeah. So.
I'm so glad you said that. I don't think. So, your church is Christian?
No.
You're not Christian?
No.
Okay, that's very interesting. Okay, so you're not Christian. Let me just say this anyway. I think there are so many Unitarian Universalists, even though we have UU Christians, there are so many Unitarian Universalists who honestly don't know what to do about Easter, who feel that it's really complicated to wade into what we would call Christology and what to say about the story of Jesus' resurrection. And so I think there are a lot of congregations who feel like, well, this is just a really nice mashup. And I have a bias, obviously, and my bias is that it dilutes both. It dilutes both traditions. I like what you're saying about this flower celebration is about the acceptance and the beauty and the blessing that we receive I also have understood it, though, as a celebration of diversity, of look at all the different
Absolutely.
ways.
Yes,
Yeah, go ahead.
I agree.
Yeah, yeah. No, a celebration of diversity. Like, look at all of the form that flowers can take. Not just living flowers, not just branches off of trees, but there's flowers in Wandrew and the cake with the flower on it. All the different expressions of beauty. And I think it's important for people to hear your, you're not the arbiter of flower celebration, but it's important for us to hear this has its own deep meaning, and it's important to focus on its significance rather than accidentally shifting the significance. For example, it's not a memorial service for Norbert Chapek.
On the other hand, we can consider it as a component
Yeah.
which can be used playfully. In the same way, like we have lighting the chalice, I could have the whole service about the chalice. And I could use the chalice just as the crust or the bookend of the service. It's my choice or our choice how we would incorporate it into the service. Yes, but always it should keep the meaning. So if I light it without any word, with full attention, I light the chalice, and people perceive the moment with full presence. That's fine. Making a service out of it is fine too. But what I would not like is to do it like, by the way, here's a nice chalice, now let's light it, let's go on.
Yeah.
So I would not want the flower communion component to become that, like, by the way, we have these nice flowers, we brought them here and they are beautiful, right? And so let's go on and mother service.
There's a reverence to it. Right? Reverence, a sense of awe.
Attention, reverence, and focus. It could be very short. Then it can be certainly used as a component of the service of whatever kind, Mother's Day, Christmas, or whatever. But it'd be interesting to have a Christmas service with flower communion, by the way.
I guess. What I find so interesting is the way that you clearly, Reverend Peter, but also your congregation, your church, you have deep, deep regard and respect for the tradition of the flower celebration. And you've talked about how creatively you enact it and celebrate it every year. You've talked about creating new rituals like the good thought or the sharing of the light. So I love the both and. I love how flexible and elastic and progressive your worship life seems to be. At the same time that you say, well, this is what's important about the flower celebration. And I think the reason I'm so struck by that is I think there are congregations in the United States where the preservation and honoring of tradition sometimes focuses on the wrong thing and it turns into a stuckness. And I think that there are probably some congregations who wish that they had the breadth and the freedom and the creativity to create things without feeling like they're abandoning what's most important. I'm trying to discern what is it that's most important. So it's very interesting to me.
Well, I think it's always a principle of the finger pointing at the moon. Whether you focus too much on the finger or too much on the moon.
Yeah.
It has to be both. Because if you forget about the moon and focus on the finger, you lose the point. And if you focus on the moon too much and forget about the finger, then you have no weight about the moon. So it's that.
And what you said about Norbert Chapek is, I think you said, he would have said, what did you say about him being progressive? He would have said, if this is no longer serving you, change it.
If you lose meaning, if it lost meaning, then replace it.
Yeah.
If it makes sense to you, if you find the meaning in it, then It's fine.
No problem.
Just do it. So, in this way, when we accepted, let's say, the water communion in Prague.
Do you?
Yes, we have it for many years now. We always, again, we use it differently, but we remember the main focus, the essence of it. And at the same time, it can be done differently. So
That's right.
the code can be changed, but the cover, but the essence needs to be there. That's
I agree. And I know that there are worship leaders here in the U.S. who notice that the essence of the water communion or water ceremony had started to shift. And for here in the U.S., what happened is more and more people were using the water ceremony to sort of recount all of their exotic travels, and it became sort of a like, well, this is where I went for summer vacation, this is where I went for summer vacation. And a lot of our worship leaders and religious professionals said, the water ceremony is a relatively new, born in the 80s tradition, but that's not how it was designed. So how do we get back to that essence, you know?
It's a matter of essence and authenticity, because how do you make it authentic? That's the core question. Actually, if I can bring up a short story.
Yeah.
This year at the Water Communion, we had a situation when one member of the church was ill and couldn't come that Sunday, and asked somebody else to speak for her and say what the water is about, and that she will bring it next Sunday. And I said, no, because the moment happens here and now.
Yeah.
You just can bring it to my office, and I will leave it in my office for the next year. It will be there, so it's safe. But the authentic moment is here and now.
Yeah.
It will not be next Sunday. It will not be. We can change it. We can change the system and say that you can bring the water anytime during the year, and we can have a container and actually put it there. If we change the system, then it's authentic again. But without changing it, it's like this. So let's keep it as it is. And we had actually an interesting argument about it among the members. Some people thought that I'm just too conservative, and I think they are right to some degree. But I'm conservative about the authenticity, because I want to preserve it. It's like the difference between the finger and the moon, and the essence. If we decide, then it's a democratic process. If we decide to change the style, then again it's authentic. But without it, it wouldn't be. And somebody said, it's like when somebody would miss a birth of their child. I mean, the father would miss the birth. Well, it couldn't happen next week. It simply happened, and we're not there. Too bad. I feel very sorry about it, but that's how it happened. And
well, you keep using the word authenticity, and I think it's very kind and thoughtful that you said, I'll hold on to your water for another year. What you're naming as authenticity, my take on it from the other side of the Atlantic Ocean and on a different Unitarian Universalist experience, is that someone bringing their water the next week makes it about the individual. And there's a real tension in the United States over individualism versus community. And to me, the whole point of the water ceremony, the flower celebration, is about our unity, not about individuality, but about what happens when we choose one another, right? Yes. So if someone says, well, I'll just bring my water next week and I'll tell everyone about my water next week, that makes it, that flouts the whole purpose. To me, the authenticity, that's my take on what you said.
Čapek was arrested by the Gestapo in 1942. He died in the concentration camp because he was listening to foreign leaders talk about things. He held a flower ceremony in the concentration camp before he died, and then his wife brought it over to Boston, I think in 1940. He was building a church that we're trying to build. It was a church that was willing to take risks, to make tough decisions, to bear disappointment, and to build a new way. First, by building a church, and then we can build up the world. Our next hymn is number 352, Find the Stillness. And something that Reverend Peter said is he really liked this in his congregation because of the Transylvanian minor key, I think is how he put it. Ron has an update about the pledge drive.
Good morning. My name is Pamela Roberts. My pronouns are she and her, and my favorite principle is respect for the interdependent web of life, of existence of which we are a part. I found Unitarian Universalism in Kerrville, Texas, back when it was a small lay-led congregation, and after that I went on to join the Unitarian congregation in Eugene, Oregon. And in Eugene, Oregon, it was very easy to be a Unitarian. There was a joke about, it's kind of a mean joke, but it's diversity. What is diversity? It's how many different colors of Priuses there are in the parking lot. Anyway, so it was easy to have UU values there, but it's a little more difficult here in Georgetown and Sun City, and that's why I'm so grateful for all of you and for my connections group and the Soul Matters materials. And I don't know where I would be if I didn't have this group. And I thank you all very much and give you a big virtual hug. And just as a sideline, I grew up as a Southern Baptist. So you can see I've come a long, long way. And I always think about that if I'm discouraged about something. I think, oh man, look how far I've come. And maybe that little advice would help you. Okay, thank you. So in summary, that's why I love coming here.
Following with that, I am Treasurer Ron. But who's counting? There will be an election for a new board in June. As I said a year ago, I will not stand for re-election as treasurer for a 5th year. 4 was the magic number. And now the pledge drive. 3 weeks into what we said would be a 4-week pledge drive. Our goal was $170,000. We have collected pledges for $140,000 so far. That's more than 3/4, so we're ahead of the game. During the next week or so, I will be following up. There are pledge cards in the back. If you need one, would like another one, don't send in 2. It's not like voting in Chicago. Please take one. And if you've got any questions, there's contact information. Feel free to contact me. People have been very generous. We have new pledges. We have pledges that have increased. We have pledges where people have contributed a generous amount of money considering circumstances. And I think that everyone has been very generous, and I thank you very much. And I'm optimistic that we will achieve our goal. So, talk to you in a week. Thank you.
We take an offering each week to sustain this space that we all call home and to support the work of our fellowship. Please give generously as you are able. The offertory music is God Who Fills the Universe, sung by John Walker. The words are set to a Transylvanian hymn tune, and now the offering will be gratefully received, and we thank you.
God who fills the universe, from the atom to the stars, make firm my changeful heart, so I may do my part and bring joy to all the earth. God who webs the universe with amazing mysteries, make glad my fragile soul, so I can see life whole and bring hope to all on earth. God who keeps the universe by the truth of living love, make strong this love in me, so I can set it free and bring peace to all on earth.
Thank you, John, Jackie, and Joe. We're going to do Joys and Sorrows. And Karina has graciously offered, because things are tough right now, if you need a hug at any point, Karina is here. And I'm gonna walk around with the mic if you would like to share a joy or a sorrow. And if you're new, don't feel pressured. But if you're new and you want to say something, feel free. And Vivian's gonna drop a little pebble into our bowl to signify that coming together as a community. So deep breaths as we prepare for this. And let us give each other the gift of attention.
My name is Lou. I've come with joy. I'm celebrating this morning that our own Stephanie Blank was voted in again to serve on the Georgetown Independent School District Board. Congratulations to Stephanie, who's here this morning. We are delighted that the citizens of this community want to continue on the school board in the name of helping all children. So congratulations, Stephanie. I've also come today with a heavy heart about another mass shooting right here in our own state. The sadness that we feel, I think all of us experience when we see one of these mass shootings, but I've come with a little bit of anger about the state legislature in Texas' unwillingness to do anything to address mass shootings. They won't even pass red flag laws to keep assault weapons out of the hands of disturbed people. And I think we need to let this anger, at least for me, motivate me and maybe you to express, our prayer, not just for families, but prayer for legislation to keep assault weapons out of people's hands.
Wow, we have a lot. I'm going to work my way back.
Hi, everybody. It's that time of year when Larry and I leave to go up to New Hampshire to be near our son and his family up there. And it's always bittersweet because we're leaving you all in Sun City and Georgetown and leaving our daughter and family down here. But we've done it for 15 years and it's worked really well. So goodbye, and we'll see you in mid-September.
Hi, I'm Walt Holt. This last Saturday, yesterday, we had a team of 6 people. And they were Lou, his wife, Michelle, his son, Andrew, Keith, and John. We tackled these 2 closets up there, and let's say it was like a junk drawer at home. You might have a pair of scissors, rubber bands, staples, whatever. Well, that's what we found. We took everything out of, especially the right closet, took everything out of there. We found 4 vacuum cleaners. One was like brand new. One, the driving rubber band that drives the brush wasn't working, it fell off. So Lou's taking it home and see if he can fix that. The other 2 were kind of trash. And then we got into electronics, and we had a lot of old electronics. I think it was pre-dial-up. Anyway, we took them all in the back there, and Frank is going through those, trying to determine if they should go to an antiques place or if he can sell them as an antique. Anyway, you can walk in there now, and there's actually some shelf space available. Oh, yes, no. We found 2 cases of wine glasses. They ended up in the kitchen now. I don't think everybody's happy about that. Anyway, I want to thank everybody that came and helped. The other thing is these two lights here, they weren't working at all. Super Ron, my mentor, told me at one time they were demons. But John went up there and took it apart, and he checked the voltage. We're getting electricity. We put new bulbs in there. They still didn't work. So we taken the, I hate to use this word, assumption that it was the ballast. So he went to check Home Depot, and they don't carry that one anymore, but you still can get it online. Oh, and John ordered them. So anyway, hopefully in the near future we'll have that done. I guess I'm talking too long here.
Just coming to give you a little pat.
Thank you.
My name is Stephanie Blank, and I think you all know what one of my joys is. I have two. I want to thank Lou and Clara and quite a few of you with the congregation to help me get reelected. This was a very hard-fought battle this time, and it will probably be next time. But thank you so much for your support. And my other joy actually has to do with my middle grandson, who never thought he was ever athletic and decided to go out for tennis as a 7th grader, and he won 2nd in district.
Good morning again. I'm Ron Karish. I have been a UU for almost 50 years. Joy this morning. The parking lot is nearly completely full. A year ago, I was up at the front and I mentioned that this is my sanctuary. And given the way things have been going, in the 50 years or so that I've been a U or a UU, I have never needed this sanctuary as much as I do today. So I'm sorry that I need you that much, but I'm eternally grateful that we are here together.
What were you happy about? It's harder when you have a microphone. Yeah, do you want to say it? Do you want to just pretend to tell me? Tell me again.
I'm having a unicorn birthday.
Just having a unicorn birthday. All right.
Hi, I'm Ruth Fuller. This is just a little bit about Ron. This is separate. I wasn't going to say this. About Ron, if you give money, you get a personal thank you note from Ron. For real. I just thanked him this morning for his sweet card. So you need to really give money if you want to get mail. I mean, you get it in the real mail. Like, correct. I also want to applaud Stephanie because I think we really ought to be proud of her. These are not in order of importance. Also, that wasn't funny. I want to applaud Lou for those of you who attended his Confessions of a
Recovering racist.
that. He had an event on Tuesday at Lark and Owl that was superb, and the two other, so it was Lou and two other women, Monique and Sky, Monique is a black woman, and Sky is indigenous Indian woman. It was superb, and it really spoke to the need to be active. So that speaks to his concern today about the Texas legislative stuff. The other thing I want to do is, I'm happy to see Lucy and her boyfriend back today. Your name is Lucy, correct? and her grandma and boyfriend, because they were here last week, and I'm glad that they're back. Thank you.
Hi, I thought I'd meet you halfway. I'm Kelly. I'm going to keep mine brief. This has been a long one. This is the longest one I remember. I have a joy. Last weekend, I had the pleasure of attending an event in honor of my father, who passed away less than a year ago. And they planned that funeral really, really quickly, and I was just in shock the entire time, so I honestly really didn't know what was going on. But this event was in his hometown where he was born, and I got to meet people I had never met and hear stories I had never heard about my dad. And Stephen got to come with me, and it was just a really beautiful event. And I'm so happy that I was able to have that. And I'm so happy I can come here and tell you guys about it. So thank you.
Anybody else? Lucy's boyfriend, who I'm sure has a name.
Hello, I'm Ryan, Lucy's boyfriend. I'm wearing a long skirt today for the first time in my life, which is my girlfriend's. But I am so happy for her support and growing my confidence, because I just look so cool, and I would never wear this if I didn't have this girlfriend to get me close. I'm also going on a road trip to Salt Lake City, seeing a music festival with a lot of my favorite artists. I'm really excited for that too.
Okay, this is just gonna keep going, I guess. All right.
My name is Jay McMillan, and I have an opinion as usual. You must be like a child to enter the kingdom of heaven, so let us not forget that the sounds that came from the back of the room this morning were just communications with God. And second, the event of this morning up in Allen, many of us are not aware that gun manufacturers or the firearms are the only product sold in the United States that are exempt from product liability. And so Gabby Gifford's movement is to have repealed the act that prevents or that exempts firearm manufacturers from responsibility for the harm that their product does. So just remember that and support Gabby Gifford's movement as you see fit.
I have a joy. The board has chosen to continue my contract for another year. Previously, I was a hospice chaplain for years and years, and I took you guys on, and you took me on, and we didn't know about each other, and we're learning, and we're growing, and I have some big dreams and visions, so right now we're in contract negotiations. So, good news, and thank you for keeping me around. Karina, wasn't it in the tradition of how you got engaged? That's very cool. All right, I think we're done. So for the joys and sorrows not named, we lift those up as well. And I'm going to wrap us up with the extinguishing of the chalice. We close our sacred time together when we extinguish our chalice. We extinguish this flame, but not the chalice inside of our hearts. which serves as a beacon of hope. Emboldened by its blaze, we are reminded that our strength as prophetic and powerful people is found when we come together at San Gabriel, which is here to stay in Georgetown, to stay no matter what may come our way. So you can get up during the postlude according to Jackie. I know that you all like to stay, and that's fine too, whatever you want to do. But next is the postlude, and then join us for coffee and fellowship in the next room over.